Hi my dear yogis, welcome back to my channel. My name's Paisley for those of you who do not know me. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have a super mellow yoga flow that is all centered on bringing awareness to our low back and hamstrings. I know these two areas in particular may be problematic areas for a lot of people, so it's really important to just allow ourselves to connect with these spaces, send the breath there, and to move mindfully, lovingly, and compassionately with ourselves. So no equipment necessary for today. If you already know that you're very tight in your lower back, I do recommend to grab a pillow before we get started. It could be a bed pillow, couch pillow, whatever, just to slip underneath your sit bones when we do head into seated postures. But of course, it's not necessary, only if you really want it and you want to deepen your practice today. So without further ado, let's put something comfy on and relax. All right, my dear yogis, meeting in this nice seated posture, booty on the ground, feet on the earth, hands on tops of shins. We're going to move through some seated cat-cows. As you see, I'm rolling my spine, creating a C shape with my body, tucking chin to chest, tailbone under. And as I inhale, I'm going to reverse this by reaching my heart forward, shoulders pulling back, maybe look up. Exhale allows you to round the spine, tuck chin to chest, tailbone under, allowing the shoulders to separate from each other. 2 more rounds with this nice even movement, really allowing the spine to create some space, some mobility. We're going to be creating some shapes with the spine a lot today to help strengthen and lengthen through that lower back. Upon your next exhalation, you're going to roll all the way down to your back, grazing your fingertips to reach the back of your heels. Feet are about hip distance apart, and you're just going to let the knees kiss in towards each other, creating a space between your mat and the lower back, and allowing the pelvis to just be as it is. For the first few moments of our practice, I really want you to connect with your breath, connect with your body, becoming aware of every inch of yourself, how your back feels, maybe the upper back feels against the mat, how the soles of your feet feel against the mat, maybe the back of your head, and giving yourself that full body scan from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, acknowledging every divine space inside of you. And maybe making a connection to self. So I'm placing one hand on belly and one hand on heart, noticing the natural ebb and flow of my breath, this vital life force that takes us through our practice. Today I want you to flow with your breath, dance with your breath, and be with your breath. It is such a vital, incredible energy that we have at disposal by the edges of our fingers. So I want you to slowly and carefully tee out through the arms and just begin to create the first few movements on our back. So I'm windshield wipering my knees super slow, imagining that I'm moving through slow motion. So rocking the knees to one side, then the next. If hands feel better at your sides, please do it. I just like to broaden through the heart. When you are ready, we're going to meet through center, and you're going to heel toe the feet in towards each other. Glue the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall open. If your pelvis or the inner thighs are feeling super tight today, you can do what I'm doing right now and placing your hands underneath your thighs to give yourself more support. You can walk your heels closer to your hips if you want a little bit more stretch, or maybe walking the feet a little bit further away to make a bigger diamond shape with your legs. That helps release the load on the lower back and gives your body a little bit more area to work with. Wherever you have found yourself in this reclined butterfly shape, I want you to return to that breath. Inhaling deeply through the nose, expanding through the belly, all the way to the chest and throat. And as you exhale, just let everything go, either through the mouth or the nose, whatever feels the best for you. Sending the inhalation to the base of the belly, almost to the top of the pubic bone. Maybe you bring your hands underneath your thighs and slowly and carefully peel the knees off of the earth and glue the knees back together, mindfully and with control. You're going to hug one knee in and then the next, noticing how your lower back feels as we introduce a tiny stretch. Maybe you want to invite some movement by swaying side to side, creating circles with the knees if that feels good. This is just allowing us to loosen up through the spine, massaging our lower back, giving some love to your pooches if they want to say hello to you too. That's just the realities of practicing at home right now, and honestly, I love it. I'm now creating rowboat strokes with my knees, so circling my knees away from each other and towards each other when I feel that it's right to reverse the circles, creating a beautiful, juicy movement through my hip sockets. And now, after I've completed the next few rounds of circles, I'm going to bring my shins to tabletop position just to warm up through the abdomen. So imagining that I'm balancing a bowl of cereal on my shins, I'm going to place my hands by my sides, really plug the shoulders and triceps and palms in towards the mat. And all I'm going to be doing is creating marching motions with my legs. So tapping my right heel to the earth, bringing it back. Tapping my left heel to the earth, bringing it back up. Moving mindfully with control, alternating heel taps. Pulling the low belly in towards the spine, knitting the rib cage in towards each other to really tighten up. Tap both heels to the ground, and then we're going to lengthen through that right leg, keeping the right knee bent, grabbing a hold of the outside edge of that right foot, and a modified happy baby. So it's like a half happy baby. That left foot can either remain flat to the earth with the knee bent, or if you're feeling super spicy, you can lengthen through that left leg. But I really want you to maintain balance through the hips. So I'm going to place my left hand on my left hip just to remind my left hip to stay even to the earth. I'm inviting some movement to my right leg. I can lengthen, sway the leg from side to side, whatever feels best for you. This is allowing you to lengthen gently through the hamstring, bringing just a little bit more intensity by slightly lengthening that right knee rather than keeping it generously bent. Noticing how your leg feels in various positions, so I'm swaying my knee from side to side. I'm now going to interlace my fingers behind the right thigh and reach my right leg nice and long. I'm pointing and flexing my foot to create some space in my ankle joint, also by stretching the top of the foot, creating circles, one direction then the next. And again, you can always keep a generous bend in that right leg. It's okay, we don't have to have stick straight legs. Now you're going to head into figure 4, reclined pigeon, by placing the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Stay here if this is enough. Or you can pull that left knee in towards the chest. Feet are going to be flexed to protect the knee. If movement again feels great for you, please invite it. There are no rules in yoga. There just is. So if movement feels really good for your body in the various postures that we go through today, please invite it. That's what your body is calling you to do. Yoga is all about connecting with connecting within and allowing yourself to explore and get to know yourself. Alrighty, let's interlace the fingers behind that left thigh if it's not already there and lengthen through that left leg, keeping the bind as it is. Pointing and flexing that left foot, creating a stretch in the top of the left foot. Now you're going to bend that left knee and place that left foot to the earth, keeping with this bind. If you'd like twisted roots, you'll just stack knee on top of knee, tee out through the arms, and take your spinal twist. If you're looking for something more gentle, keep the bind as it is and just let the knees fall to the left. The right heel or the right sole of the foot will kiss the earth along with the left knee. This is more of an outer hip stretch and a lower back stretch than a full spinal twist that massages, the internal organs. If that's too much, you can see I just unraveled myself and stacked knee on top of knee. That releases the load on the lower back as well. Do whatever spinal twist feels best for you. I know I say that a lot, but it is so important to listen from within. All right, let's head back through center and give both knees a big, big, big hug. If you're feeling super loose in the lower back, you can always round your forehead to your knees, making a connection and really creating a tight ball with your body that stretches through the thoracic spine. Creating space once again. I'm just rinsing out through my body by creating those rowboat strokes with my knees before I head to the other side. So now I'm placing both feet to the earth, and then I'm going to bend that left knee, grab a hold of the outside edge of that left foot, and pull that knee by my side. Heading through half happy baby on the opposite side. Again, maybe placing your right hand to that right hip, just to maintain a sense of balance, reminding that right hip to stay stable. You can create some movement once again by swaying from side to side. Maybe you try to lengthen that left leg slightly, then bring it back. Whatever free movement feels best for you, we're slowly and carefully beginning to create some space in that lower spine. Taking 2 more rounds of breath in this half happy baby before we interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. Slowly making our way into that leg extension. So fingers are now interlaced behind the left thigh, lengthening that left leg nice and long. Point and flex the foot to create a stretch in the top of that left foot. Circle through the ankle to create mobility through that left ankle joint. Maybe pull, lovingly pull the left leg closer to you. You can sway it from side to side. Maybe copying what you did on your right side to again maintain that sense of balance, creating an equilibrium between your body. Let's head into supine pigeon or figure four, whatever you want to call it, by placing the left ankle on top of that left thigh. Foot is flexed. Stay here if this is enough for you. If your body is calling for more, you'll pull that right knee in towards your chest by either interlacing the fingers behind that right thigh or maybe on top of the shin like me. Again, feet are flexed to protect the knees. Sway from side to side. Maybe you notice when you pull that or roll to the right side slightly, that left hip intensifies the stretch even more. Breathing here deep and complete, sending that beautiful, loving energy to the left side. Slowly and carefully making your way into that leg extension on the right side. So interlacing the fingers slowly behind the right thigh and lengthening that right leg up towards the sky. Creating some movement if you did so on the opposite side by pointing and flexing the foot. Circling through the ankle, taking your time here, sending your breath to the back of your right leg, noticing that when you flex the foot, the hamstring begins to awaken. And then when you point the foot, the top of the foot begins to stretch along with maybe the knee, feel something there. Taking about 1 more round of breath. As we exhale, we'll place that right foot to the mat. Heading into twisted roots if you'd like by stacking knee on top of knee, or keep the bind as it is, tee out through the arms, and let the knees fall to the right. That left foot will eventually kiss to the earth along with that right knee. If this feels like too much for your lower back, you can always unravel yourself and just stack knee on top of knee. Again, this is more of a outer hip and lower back lengthener rather than a full-on spinal twist. Taking a few more rounds of breath here, really allowing your gaze to just fall to the left as you breathe into the left lower side of your body. I know this is big, but you got this. Slowly and carefully head back through center and make your way into full happy baby. You've done the prep work for it, so this should feel really nice by placing the grip to either the edges of your feet or maybe it's the ankles today. Bending the knees by your sides and opening up through the inner thighs, swaying from side to side. And now let's begin to make ninja rocks and rolls on the spine. So grabbing behind the thighs and rocking yourself forward and back, massaging the spine fully. You can create some big momentum here. Feel a sense of playfulness as we meet into a seated position. So crisscross applesauce today. You're going to remove the flesh from under the sit bones. allowing yourself to ground down. Front body is going to reach up, back body is reaching down. So allow the sternum to reach forward, crown of the head up nice and tall, while the shoulders are down and the hip bones are rooting down. I'm just creating a little bit of movement in my neck by rolling ear from shoulder to shoulder before I head into a neutral spine. We're going to create some cat-cow. So as we inhale, we'll pull the heart forward, maybe look up. And as you exhale, you'll round the spine, tuck chin to chest, tailbone under. We've done this in my class before. If you've taken any of my videos, just some spinal flexions because it feels so good on the lower back and the thoracic spine. Inhaling once again. As you see, I'm anteriorly tilting my pelvis, so tilting my hip bones forward as I inhale. And as I exhale, I'm really tucking the tailbone under. I'm going to begin to make some goblet circles, so by slowly inhaling the torso over my legs. And as I exhale, I'm scooping my spine back. So inhaling, allowing your heart to fall through the right side, scooping your belly through center. And as I exhale, I'm sweeping through the left side and beginning to round my spine back. So it's like a circular cat-cow motion. I'm getting my shoulders to play into this movement as well. And once you feel satisfied with this side, we're going to circle through the other side. So inhaling through the left, circling through that left side. Exhaling, circling back through the right. Taking your time in this beautiful spinal movement. This is amazing for our hips. This is great for strengthening and lengthening through the lower back as well. You know, we're all about that lower back today. So again, sending the breath to the lower back. Maybe noticing how your belly feels right now, your shoulders. And we're going to head into our cat-cow. So make your journey there as best as you'd like. As you see, I crossed my ankles and rolled on through my knees, or you can just sweep your legs to one side and just head to your hands and knees. Setting ourselves up for success. Lovingly place your hands evenly away from each other, about shoulder distance. Fingers are spread nice and wide, clawing the mat like you're clawing sand. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Pull the belly in towards the spine. Don't let it drop. Crown of the head is nice and long. Tailbone is back behind you. Introducing juicy cat-cow. As you inhale, dip the belly, reach the heart forward. Tailbone up. Exhale, slowly round the spine. Tuck chin to chest, tailbone under. Press the earth away. Big spinal round. Inhale once again, dip the belly, reach the heart forward, let the abdomen stretch. Exhale is going to allow you to round the spine, tuck chin to chest, tailbone under. Maybe taking 2 more rounds of this beautiful, juicy spinal movement, slowing it down to really feel each articulation of the vertebrae here. Now beginning to introduce some more organic movement. So barrel rolling the spine. As you see, I'm dipping my belly to one side, and as I roll or jump rope my spine, I'm rounding it down. So inhaling to dip the belly, exhale to round, creating a big circular motion with my spine. Once I feel good with that side, I'm going to jump rope through the other spine. So however you want to describe it, however you want to visualize it, just creating a big, intense, dramatic movement with the spine. This is allowing you to stretch every inch of your lower back, your upper back, mid back, all of the backs to create space. Now let's head through a child's pose flow. So you're going to exhale, roll back through child's pose. And as you inhale, you're going to scoop yourself up to a cow position. Exhale, roll back, hips to heels to child's pose. Inhale, scoop the belly up through a cow. Exhale, round back through cat and sink into child's pose. Let's pause here. I'm going to give myself a big hug by wrapping my arms around my legs to grab a hold of my heels. Forehead just rests. You can shake your head no to massage the forehead, but this is allowing your lower back to rest. As you see, if you need a little bit more of an intense stretch, you can come onto the crown of the head by reaching the belly off the thighs and placing a little bit of pressure on the crown of the head. Nothing crazy, and just let the shoulders drop. Breathe wherever you are, maybe in this extended child's pose or in our reclined child's pose. Let's meet back, sinking the hips to the heels. You're going to begin to slowly and carefully extend the arms out in front of you and tent through the fingertips to broaden through the upper back, so creating space between the palms of the hands and the mat. Breathe here. As you're ready, you're slowly and carefully going to peel yourself off the mat back into that cat-cow position, so a tabletop position. You're going to lengthen back through that right leg, trying to keep the hip square as best as possible. Let's circle through that ankle. And then you're going to bend that right knee on your inhalation. Exhale, extend back. Inhale, bend that right knee. Exhale, extend back, lengthening and strengthening through that hamstring. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Beautiful job. We're going to bring that right foot all the way to meet our hands. And then that left knee is going to scooch back. We're setting up for a low lunge. So right foot's going to land by the hands. I'm going to bring my arms inside of my legs. So feet are inside the legs. You're kind of scooching that right foot to the edge of your mat and just letting your hips sink. If your spine is rounding like me right now, I want you to come up onto the thigh. So placing your hands on top of the thigh, allowing your heart to reach forward rather than allowing the spine to round. This is getting your iliopsoas muscle, that big hip flexor that actually connects to your low spine. This is an amazing muscle to stretch for low back pain. So breathe here. This is big. I know this is intense for a lot of us, but just allow yourself to connect to your breath. Send this energy to your left iliopsoas, to that left hamstring or left hip flexor, and just breathe. As you're ready, you're slowly and carefully going to heel toe that foot back through center. If your hands are on your thighs, you're going to slowly sink the hips back, beginning to lengthen through that right leg. Right foot is going to begin to peel off the mat, so you're just anchoring through that right heel, pulling that right hip back, left hip forward, and keeping a generous bend in that right knee. You're still getting a stretch through that hamstring, getting rid of any expectations that you may have of yogis who have super straight legs and leg extensions. That's okay if that knee is bent. We want to protect our bodies and feel good as we practice yoga. So wherever you are, just let it be. If this is getting intense, maybe you distract your mind by catching waves with your breath, as I am, inhaling to reach the spine forward, shoulders back, and exhaling, allowing yourself to roll down. Inhale to extend the heart forward. Exhale to round. As you're ready, you're slowly and carefully going to begin to bend that front knee once again. Coming out of this posture, placing that right foot back to the earth, planting through the palms, and slowly stepping back to hands and knees, sinking back into child's pose. As you're ready in child's pose, you're going to walk your hands to the right corners of your mat, anchoring back through the hips, getting nice and long through that left side. Breathing through your left side waist, anchoring back through the hips, maybe placing the left hand on top of the right to deepen the stretch. Deep breaths. As you're ready, your next inhalation is going to walk yourself back through center slowly and carefully. And exhale, walking your hands to the left corners of the mat, again anchoring back through the hips, lengthening through that right side waist. Maybe the right hand lands on top of the left to deepen the stretch. Forehead is relaxed. Breathe here. Inhaling to expand the belly. Exhale to pull it in towards the spine. As you're ready, you're going to slowly and carefully make your way back through center upon your next inhalation. No rush here. And you're going to peel yourself back to that tabletop position. One round of cat-cow just to rinse out through the spine. Inhaling to dip the belly. Exhale to round the spine under. Once you head into that neutral spine, you're going to begin to lengthen that left leg out behind you, flexed foot. As you roll through the ankle, begin to point and flex the foot, find mobility. You're going to inhale, bend that left knee, contract through the hamstrings. Exhale, extend that left leg back. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. As you're ready, you're going to begin to make your way into that low lunge. So bring that left foot to the left hand, Making your way, maybe helping that foot up so your knee is over the ankle. Maybe you bring the arms inside of that leg and heel toe your the left foot to the edge of the mat. If you find yourself rounding in the spine again, place your hands on top of the thigh to give yourself more space. Pulling in through center, so maybe you bring the shoulders over the hips, still allowing yourself to sink in through that right hip. Again, the right iliopsoas is beginning to stretch here, really placing pressure through the top of that right foot to allow that knee, the right knee, to not bear all the weight. This will help energetically pull that right iliopsoas open even more. And again, maybe you want to distract yourself by inhaling to lengthen through the spine, shoulders back. Exhale to settle. You've got this. This is big. Lizard's pose is big. Breathing through that hip. Noticing what the left foot is doing. Are you clawing through the toes? Allow the toes to wiggle and really root through that left heel. As you're ready, we're going to head into half Hanuman. So slowly and carefully begin to peel the hips back, lengthening through that left leg. Again, if your spine is rounding, place your hands on top of the thighs to give yourself more space. We want to lead with the heart. So pull the shoulders back and let the back be long. Getting rid of any unintentional tension that you may be holding. Maybe wiggle through the jaw. Relax through the shoulders. Hands wherever you need. Let's distract ourselves by catching waves with our breath. Creating a wave with our spine. You'll inhale, shine the heart forward. Exhale, allow yourself to flow down. Soft bend in that left knee. Inhale, shine the heart forward. Exhale, allow yourself to flow. Beautiful yogis. One more time. Inhale, shine the heart. You got this. I know this is big in the hamstrings. Exhale, allow yourself to melt. As you're ready, slowly and carefully introduce a bend into that left knee once again. Placing that left foot back to the earth, slowly, carefully, lovingly heading back into a tabletop position. So rooting through the palms of the hands, placing that knee back to the earth. Left knee back to the earth, I should say. As we make our way back into this tabletop position, we're going to begin to wag our puppy dog tails, so sinking your hips to the right side, still in a tabletop position and looking over your left shoulder, and then swaying to the other side, so dipping your hips to the left, looking past your right shoulder. This is getting the low back, the low outer hips to stretch. One more time through each side, dipping the hips to the right, look past left shoulder, really big stretch. Inhaling through center, exhale, dip your hips to the left, look past right shoulder. Begin to slowly and carefully make your way through center and walk yourself back to your knees. Begin to sit onto your bottom, and we're going to scooch ourselves to the tops of our mat. So heading back into that seated cat-cow position. So booty to the earth, feet are flat to the earth. You're going to begin to place your hands on your shins. Inhale, shine the heart forward, big back bend. Exhale, around the spine, tuck chin to chest, tailbone under. Really separate the shoulders away and lower yourself down to the mat. Inviting windshield wiper movements with the knees by swaying your knees to one side, then the other, just for a few rounds of breath. We're going to make our way into a restorative tree pose or half butterfly, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to place my right foot to the mat by bending that right knee, and the left sole of the foot is just going to glue to the right ankle and let that left knee fall open. If this is not enough for you, you can begin to lengthen through that right leg and let it fall long to the earth. This allows you to open up through the hips even more. Having the space between your low back and the mat is completely okay here. Just let your spine go. There's no expectations, no thoughts of how it should be. Just let yourself breathe. Let yourself settle. And again, if you need a little bit support here, you can place that left hand underneath the left thigh and help the knee just begin to settle. Once again, breathe here, hands wherever you need, shoulders plugged in, opening up through that left hip. You're going to begin to head back through center by bending that right knee, placing that right foot to the earth, and peeling that left knee back in through center. Allow yourself to just settle for a moment, rinsing out through the spine before we head through the opposite side. So left foot's to the mat, knee is bent, and just gluing the right sole of foot to that inner ankle and letting the knee fall open. If you need more, you can always lengthen that left leg as I am doing here into a restorative tree pose. One hand on belly, one hand on heart to follow the natural pattern of your breath. Bringing your awareness here, noticing the origin of your breath, where you're sending your breath. Is it in the chest, the throat, the base of the belly? I want you to try your best to really send the breath all the way to the base of your belly, right above the pubic bone. Deep belly breathing is incredibly nourishing, relaxing, and grounding. It is so important for us to connect to this beautiful energy that is always at our disposal. I want you to begin to lengthen both legs and give yourself a full cat stretch by reaching the arms up and over the head, stretching through the fingers and toes. And then begin to slowly and carefully walk your limbs to the left corners of your mat. So walking your heels to the left corners, walking your arms to the left corners, and making a giant banana shape with your body. Shoulders are still rooted to the earth. You can cross the right ankle on top of the left to deepen the stretch, and maybe grab a hold of the right wrist with your left hand. Just breathe through the right side. Relax. There's no effort. You're just allowing your right side to completely be open and loved. One more round of breath here, deep and complete, still expanding through the belly on our inhalations. Exhalations are completely cleansing, deep, and complete. Walking ourselves through center on our inhalation, slowly, carefully, lovingly exhale. You're going to make your way to the right corners of the mat. So slowly, mindfully, lovingly again. Walking your heels to the right corners, walking your hands to the right corners, rooting down through the shoulders. So the back's not peeling off the mat, the booty's not peeling off the mat. You're nice and flat. You're just creating a giant C or banana shape, however you want to visualize it with your body. So breathing to that left side, maybe crossing the left ankle over the right to deepen through the stretch, and just truly settle, imagining that you're melting into the seams of the mat, to the cracks of the floor, to the soil beneath, connecting to this grounding energy. You worked so hard by stretching those problematic areas that we may have. Inhaling back through center, one last full cat stretch. And as you exhale, give yourself the juiciest, biggest, lovingest hug ever by hugging the knees in towards your chest, maybe rounding the forehead to the knees if it's safe for you. And slowly melting your feet to the earth, knees bent. We'll end as we began, kissing the knees in towards each other and just letting the lower back be as it is. We can end with the connection to self once again by placing one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart, and just let your breath ebb and flow freely. We have breathed deeply and completely throughout the duration of the class, so I want you now to just let yourself be. Let the breath naturally ebb and flow in and out of the beautiful channels of your body. I hope you feel open. I hope you feel safe, and I hope you feel loved. You have untied the knots of tension and tightness within your lower back and hamstrings, and now we can drink in the nectar of this beautiful practice. I hope that you carry out this sense of peace throughout the rest of your day, and just allow yourself to simply feel alive. The light in me honors and bows the light in each of you. Thank you so much for choosing to flow with me today. I am so eternally grateful for your energy exchange, even virtually, for your vulnerability of being open with yourself on this mat, in this space today. Thank you so much. Namaste.